start the Soulspeak show in just a few seconds, I just wanted to tell you what the format will be. The format will be 3 15-minute acts. There'll be a 10-minute act, and there'll be a 10-minute intermission between each. And if you feel like having another drink, go back and have one. We'd like you to relax. Take off your poetry ears. I don't want you sitting here waiting for big poetry to come at you, because this is a different type of poetry. It's an oral poetry. It's always done with music and with chanting. And the best way to listen to it is just to lay back and let it just come right at you and have a good time with it. Tonight's show is called Erotic Passages, and it deals with eroticism. Sometimes dark, sometimes seamy, sometimes quite lovely. So you'll have a good taste of it. I don't know what you'll do with it when you walk out tonight, but we're going to give it to you. We're going to be moving out of the Don Roll Gallery for the summer months to the Half Moon Beach Club. So we're going to have sunset performances. We hope you join us there with some friends. It's at the south end of Lido Beach. It's a beautiful place, bar, restaurant. It'll be set up a little bit differently with tables there so you can eat, drink, and relax, which we like very much. And we hope you join us there in May and June. We'll have 2 completely new shows. So I guess without really waiting any further, we'll take off with Soulspeak. kind of hoping that that dance catches on like Soul Train. But so far it hasn't. I didn't see anybody moving out there. It'll happen eventually when we get better at it. Everyone likes to boogie. That's the word that my mother told me, so sooner or later, everybody does.
Speakings. There are many speakings, but only one which is true. It is urgent and yet ignorant of its own message.
Some men live alone. At night, when they wake, they hold themselves until they disappear. Some men live with other men. Sometimes when they look in mirrors, they can see the face of the other moving back and forth beneath it. Some men live with women. The women slowly absorb them, leaving only a shell that is brittle and glitters. The shell can do anything. Sometimes it gets up at night and looks for itself.
The men looked across the river at the women. They wanted the women, but what they really wanted was the part that flowered when they touched it. Some men wanted that part that flowered to be colorless. The women refused. These men became women. Other men wanted the part that flowered to be red like blood. When it wasn't red enough, they crushed the women to make them bleed redder.
There's a certain protocol in poetry which is usually confusion when it comes to applause or howls of indignant protest. If you feel like doing either, go ahead. It's like tennis matches. You should really just, you let go if you like it. If you don't, you want to hear it too. Yeah, maybe we'll stop doing it. Still life, Teresia. A woman is sleeping. She is turning over like an open hand. An overwhelming heat is pressing down upon her. She is opening her mouth like a cat for a baby. She is saying goodbye to her husband, or maybe her father. He is walking away from her. A window is sliding open. It is dark. Her mother is kneeling next to her. They are both crying. The priest is confused. He is saying goodbye over and over. She is coming apart like a flower, she is remembering her mother's sink, the Brussels sprouts. There is a bowl, the rim is pink. She is fingering the delicate ridges, and then she is floating through a lobby, or maybe a movie set. There are men standing over her, saying goodbye to her over and over. She is naked, her thighs are white, they are opening like an eyelid, the sheets are running out from underneath her, she is pulling everything down inside her, she is slowly absorbing her difficult life. How is the sound, by the way, and the balance between the... Is it good? It's hard for us to tell it sometimes. When we get to be big shots, we'll have a feedback speaker here so we can hear what it sounds like. Like Prince.
Love is. That spider she appears.
Love is the small boy standing with his mother in the rain.
That spider she appears, spinning that fine mesh web, which she thinks is her clothing.
Love is the mother waiting for her lover in the rain.
Which she thinks is her clothing, but is the course of her blackness all heaped into one particular throw of the net.
Love is the lover, blinded by the passion of his pain.
When he comes to her, all heaped into one particular throw of the net.
Love is the lover, is the husband, standing in the rivers of their pain.
When she comes to him and holds his head between her delicate legs and says to him, "This is what I do."
Love is the lover, is the husband, is the mother.
Is the fine mesh web which she thinks is her clothing, her salvation and her measure, which she thinks when the moon comes up is not beautiful, but is the course of her blackness all heaped into one particular throw of the net.
Love is the small boy standing with his mother in the rain.
Panamanian nieces. My Panamanian nieces are in the bathroom again. inventing themselves.
Sometimes I'm so lonely, I feel like I'm standing on the moon, like an astronaut who's been left behind.
I'm outside in the bedroom resting, trying not to think about the bullets of lipstick all over the counter, the mascara, the gel, all that furious styling.
And yet, despite the considerable distance and expense, several women have managed to reach me.
The door opens, and it's Stasia. She doesn't see me. She's still lost in the mirror behind her. Someone is still calling to her. Anastasia. She is unfolding, petal by petal. Anastasia. Then she sees me.
And yet, when they see me, they're always a bit put off to find me in one of those white, bulky spacesuits like Alan Shepard used. The ones that look like the Michelin Man with a reflective mask that reflects back everything.
For a moment, we were both trapped in the mirror. She wants to die. I look up to the ceiling like a man hoping for rain. And then she's laughing, softly, playfully, as if to tell me that sometimes she gets swept away, just standing there, practicing. She's looking, though, at something else, something in my eyes before. How sharp, how dark they were.
But they're even more put off to find out when they come up close to try to look inside. All they can see is a highly distorted but barely recognizable image of themselves that they hardly even recognize.
Relationships are where parts of you are forgotten. Hey, when I was 4, I was bad. At least that's what my mother said.
You know, they keep hitting you and hitting you until they get you down to the size of a goddamn bowling ball. You know, you got 2 little lobes for your eyes and 1 little lobe for your mouth. They always look astounded.
So you know what she did? She cut off my right leg at the knee with a Black & Decker skill saw. And then she cut the left one 6 inches below the hip.
Sometimes I put the ball on a table in front of me and I talk to it. And sometimes I get tired of talking to it, so I just put it up in the closet and shut the door.
Whoa!
After that, she put them both in a closet, till I forgot about them. Then at 21, I married a man, and I hugged him so close, so tight, that my arms went numb.
And sometimes I go crazy and I go to the movies to watch all the other little bowling balls move back and forth across the screen like they knew what they were doing.
So then I got depressed. Depressed. So depressed I couldn't move my stumps. I couldn't remember. I couldn't even spin in those crazy tight circles anymore.
Oh, no. money. God damn it, I want some bucks. I want sawbucks, greenbacks, shekels. I want some goddamn money. I need some money.
You know, he called me again today.
He called you again?
I want it left on the back porch like they used to leave milk bottles when I was a kid. That's what I want.
This time he wouldn't tell me what he wanted. Just, come over, come over.
You know, I want
What
2
did you
quarts
say?
on Monday. That's what I want. And I want 3 quarts on Wednesday. And I want 6 quarts on Friday so I can kick ass Saturday night. That's what I want. I want that. That's what, goddamn, that's what I want.
I hope he doesn't want to borrow money again.
He's borrowed an awful lot.
And you know what I want? I want
Yeah.
my, you know what? I want my children to stop worrying about me.
Maybe just
Sitting in a
once.
room all day, talking to myself.
Maybe he just wants to read some of that crappy poetry to me again.
I want if they see me in their dreams to kiss me on the forehead, or if they feel like it, on the lips.
I think he wants a porno magazine.
You know, and I want my mother and father to come back from the dead. I want them to come back from the dead. That's what I want. I want them to come back from the fucking dead.
You know, he's got other sons, so why don't they worry about him?
And
They're not suckers.
I want my father to sit at the head of the table, and I want my mother to sit across from me. That's what I want.
Is he coming for Thanksgiving this year?
Not if I got anything to say about it.
And I want the meal to go on forever and forever, and not one word to be said.
I don't want to see him cut that bird again. What a fiasco.
I don't want to hear those pornographic fantasies. You know, the women in the produce section, the women with tattooed breasts. What? I don't want to hear it.
And I want, you know what I want? I want that beautiful young girl I saw in Albertsons in the Prado section. I want her to come to my room every afternoon at 3 o'clock. I want her to stand in front of me and slowly undress herself, as if she were rising out of the ocean with her flaming orange hair.
Touch me.
I want her to let me
Touch me.
run my fingers along the shallows of her body.
Oh.
I want her to stand there
Touch me.
and look at me and tell me that I'm going to live forever.
Touch me.
We're going to take a little break now, so just enjoy yourselves. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Woman in the mirror. I'm on a bus to Fresno.
I wander to the back of the bus where there are toilets, but I don't know which one to use.
I look at the woman in the mirror.
It's someone I recognize, but don't know. It's a young boy or a young girl.
The woman in the mirror is looking back at me. I know that the woman in the mirror is different from me.
Stop.
But I don't know which one I am.
She's looking back at me.
I crawl out of her mouth. She crawls out of mine.
The woman in the mirror turns away from me.
I walk up near the bus driver. I look in the rearview mirror.
The woman in the mirror is waiting for
Go.
me. She's looking at me. She's afraid of my life. I want to tear off her clothes. I want to see her naked buttocks and her back. I want to see her standing in the rain.
I squat on the floor and give birth to 6 children. I wrap them up in scarves.
Stop.
I don't know if they are boys or they are girls.
I don't know which one I am.
I look again. I see a woman who doesn't know she is a woman.
I want to run my hand down her belly to the soft butt of her sex. I want to watch her shudder as she comes. I want to watch her pleasure.
Go.
And her pain. I want to watch her standing in the rain.
We've all had those bus rides, I'm sure. I think the last bus ride I took, I went sailing with a lawyer. That was my first mistake. Who spent the bulk of his time talking to his office while I was up on deck getting killed by waves, and it was in October or something up in New York. So at the next stop, I got off some godforsaken town in New England and took a bus back to Secaucus, New Jersey, where my brother-in-law owned a bar and I drank myself silly. That's the end of the story. A big build-up and no punch. Pintada. Donde está Padre de Fio and Guillermo? I keep asking the Indian housekeeper, who keeps pointing to the hills and repeating, Las Montanas, senor, like she doesn't have the slightest idea what I'm talking about. But she knows what's going on, and so do I. The Jesuits have decided to take their time coming down from the mountain. Show me who's boss in Pintada. So here I am kicking stones from one fly-papered end of town to the next. Sure that whatever gods are left in heaven are leaning over the edge of it with their cottony beards like they do in the movies, nodding to each other. Ah, there he is, our wanderer, still looking for his Circe, his Magdalena. And then I'm stumbling past a long line of dirt floor shacks, trailing off into the jungle. No windows, no doors, only a dark shape where the doors should be. And I look up, see a young woman in a dark slip staring out at me like she's slowly undressing herself, and my chest tightens, and then I'm past the door, feeling frightened and then foolish, telling myself I have to be crazy, that if I turn back, she'd be stirring a pot, or pulling a comb through her hair, or pulling some bare-ass kid up on her lap. But a part of me doesn't care. A part of me is already standing in her doorway, watching her rise up to greet me the way water rises, her dark, muscular stomach moving against me like a warm hand as I tell her my 2 best stories, the one about my car and the one about Benny. And she's laughing, and she even nails me a few times. Look, it can happen. This is Pintada. And then I'm sliding down her body in a tangle of shadows. We are falling together for hours, or days, or years, or however long it takes for the ravenous flame vines to open and die. So that one day when we wake, something will be different. There will be an emptiness all around us like autumn, telling us we have become 2 bodies again. But we will refuse to believe it and accuse each other of treacherous calumnies until we run out of knives and collapse in our beds, staring up at heaven like exhausted saints. And then someone of consequence who is unknown to us will serve us coffee they have prepared for the occasion. But you will barely taste yours, placing it on the table in front of you as you always do, as if it were an offering. And after we have told each other the stories we have told no one, not even ourselves, you will leave by one door and I by the other, and one by one the roads and the rivers that lead to this place will dry up like vines until nothing is left of us but these walls and the harsh, dolorous song we will sing all our lives. One of the things we attempt to do in the Soulspeak, those of you who have seen us over the past 2 years develop know that we're not performers, we're poets. And I think you can tell because of our slick performance that we really are, we have a little bit of gumball in us, you know, we've kind of goof it. But we're aimed towards a tribal poetry, or a poetry that was done 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, and you could still see in your tribal Africa today, or you could see it in your pre-Homeric Greece, or you could see it in your pre-Columbian America, or you could see it into the late 1900s in the hill countries in Yugoslavia, where the poetry is orally composed, it's done with music and movement, there's chanting done against the speaker or the speakers, and it's all put together as one whole. Part of that poetry also includes long narrative poems. In the case of the modern Yugoslavian hill poets, quite long epics of an hour or 2 or 3 hours in length, not the 3 days that Homer's epics would take, which were done in the very same way, by singing them out and to music, as far as we can tell. And so we like to honor that tradition by doing long narrative poems from time to time for the modern temperament, which means about 3 minutes.
Aria. We stand in the center of a room with walls the color of sex, hungry as the tongue for the groove in the hardwood floor. Our psyches are huddled in the corner, snorting lines of scripture. Our souls hang out between the lost and found, seeking their reflections in the mirror.
Kiss me until the panic congeals.
Oh, yeah.
Batter my heart and fry it up.
Yep, same old stuff.
Serve it to the children
Yep,
that swim in the stream of my conscience.
like goddamn oatmeal.
Sing me a song of your sixth sense while I hang purple ribbons from your teeth.
Oh, God.
Our love is a dark stranger who calls in the middle of the day, hawking silverware and scents. It consumes me from the inside up, and I can never forget the way you taste.
Ascension. A woman is standing in a white room. High on the wall is a small window with black bars.
Why is the window darkening.
The woman is wiping away the tears that are falling on her breast. She is wiping away the moonlight that is falling on her belly.
Why is her belly darkening?
Singers are walking under the high window. They are dressed in black. They are singing songs of joy and death.
Why is their song darkening?
The songs are filling the room. The woman is wiping the songs from her body.
Why is her body darkening?
A man is licking the woman's genitals. Her cries are mingling with the singing. She is melting into the man's mouth. He is drinking her like warm honey.
Why is his mouth darkening?
They are rising into one breath, like a cloud or an angel. They are starting a journey. They are finishing a life. Offering.
His hands are on her.
A fire is burning.
He is pulling off small strips of her skin, inch by inch. The skin comes off clean. There is no blood.
She is walking on the surface of the sun. Her eyes are open.
He is smiling at her as he takes her apart.
She is kissing his hands.
He is methodically killing her.
She is kissing his eyes.
She is begging him to stop.
She is kissing his cock. She is pulling at her own skin. She is stripping herself bare. She is regretting her sanity.
One of the things I like to mention that we do here is often only the root poem is known ahead of time. Pretty much the music and everything we do is made up on the spot. So sometimes we'll be heroes and sometimes you're klutzes. We hope you'll overlook the times that it doesn't quite work. We have our off moments too. We like to bat about 375. That would put us in the major leagues. And you maybe get us a Ford or something like that. That's our aim in art. Bat 375. This poem is called Blue Bodies. I am lying naked on a bed. The room is dark, but not too dark.
Why are you calling me?
There is a dim glow from somewhere outside.
Why are you calling me into your life?
Perhaps it is from the moon. Or perhaps from the hallway.
Why are you calling me into a life that is not my own?
I am waiting for you.
There are green and yellow eyes rising up inside me.
I am waiting for you in the blue body of your other life.
We are rising up like a breath from a dark, wet place.
As we rose up years ago, when our eyes were wide with desire, in the bright room of hunger.
It has to be love.
I tell you, these are the bodies that we truly are.
It has to be love.
I tell you, these are the bodies that never lie.
It has to be love.
I tell you, this is why we have come together on the other side of the moon.
I tell you, it has to be love the body sees just before it dies.
That, of course, was our big production number.
It worked.
We can hardly wait until we get lights. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with a short third act, final third act. Make yourself at home. There's drinks up there if you want them. Please do.
Cheap motel in blue. It's 7 in the morning. I'm lying by the pool in a cheap motel.
At night, I dream of earthquakes.
The Mexican pool boy, he never looks at me. Or if he does, it is only when I look away.
These things unseen are alive. He is leading me into the heat of the day, where my body becomes hot and slick.
The Mexican pool boy's hair is black, blue, and shining like the barrel of a gun. I'm trying not to think about his life.
His arms circle my waist. He touches my skin with his tongue. He makes love to me in the low waters.
He is pushing a long pole through the water.
Only time is in its proper place.
I am the Mexican pool boy.
I am on a yellow walk.
I am looking at the woman lying on the other side of the pool.
I won't hurt you.
She's talking to herself as if she were explaining something to someone.
I just want to nibble your fingertips.
She looks like she's about to cry. I like her eyes. And I don't like her eyes.
I just want to nibble your fingertips. Taste a drop of your blood.
Sometimes she looks at the pool, and sometimes at the sky, and sometimes she looks at me like a book that is opening and closing. A woman in a blue car is leaving the motel. She is looking straight ahead.
Only time is in its proper place.
I am the woman in the blue car. I am waiting for my life to change.
My dreams are raining blood.
I am waiting for my life to change.
My mother and I are in the house The blood drips right through the roof. My mother says she has never seen it rain blood before.
I am waiting for my life to change.
I tell her I've been wading through blood since I was born. I tell her I'm tired of talking. I want to change my clothes. I want to put on my red dress.
The light changes from red to blue.
Only time is in its proper place.
I am the woman sitting by the pool. The surface of the pool is blue and undisturbed. I am caught somewhere between the blue of the sky and the blue of the pool. I no longer know which is which, or who is who.
The pictures I took didn't quite come out. Either too light or too dark.
Claiming. I hear voices in the underbrush.
The woman's body is bleeding.
There's a pain growing in my belly.
She is licking at the blood.
Wolves are tearing at my nipples and my cunt.
She is crawling into a dark forest.
They are uncovering the bones of my ancestors.
She is urinating in the dirt.
Someone is knocking at the door, calling my name.
The poem we're going to do for you now is a duet. It's made up of two poems. The first poem is called River. The second is called Widower's Tango. The way you rearranged your thighs the night we met, the way you said this slow, sad dance could make you cry.
My white skin is glistening.
Confuses me. Brings back that night. Your nakedness, the unmade bed.
The wind is pounding against the black door. The glass in the windows is breaking.
The way you rearranged your thighs and slowly pulled me down inside the darkness. throbbing through your head.
A river of blood is coming in the door. It is rising up in my throat.
This slow, sad dance could make you cry the way our lives grew intertwined.
It is flowing between my legs.
The sudden, restless way you left.
It is warm. It is cold.
The way you rearranged your thighs when I asked why. Your awkward lies.
It is my mother and my father.
Your desperate fear that we might touch.
The river is carrying me into milk-white lands.
This slow, sad dance could make you cry. Your helplessness. The way you died.
Dark people are throwing stones at me.
Your papery, impatient breath.
I am giving up everything I know.
The way you rearranged your thighs.
I am coming into my life.
This slow, sad dance could make you cry. This next poem we're going to do is also a duet. It's made of two poems. One poem called Fire. Second poem called Second Body. I should say that often when we compose poems apart from one another, something at some time will kind of, you click in our heads and say these poems, they kind of belong together. Even though they were written or composed orally, depending how they were done, at completely different times by two different people. When you work closely, that happens sometimes. It's like you get in a kind of odd step with somebody in the collective unconscious, and it happens. This poem again is called Fire, Second Body.
She is sitting at a campfire, watching the flames consume the wood.
Run!
A heat is building up inside her.
Run!
Some men believe the second body knows only what the physical body knows.
Run!
She's in the forest, looking at herself, looking at the fire.
Run!
No.
Run!
No.
By the physical body,
Run!
they mean the body that stammers and cries and sings songs about itself.
Run!
No.
She is shivering. Her body
Run!
is hot. She
Quickly,
is
run!
standing on her toes like a cat.
Run!
No.
She is running through the woods. She is running for her life. She is running through one small death after another.
Run! Get away!
There are other men who believe the second body has knowledge of its own.
She is eating the hands and the belly of her prey.
Run!
No.
They will tell you that it reveals this knowledge in what we call dreams, or visions, or awakenings.
Run! Run now!
She is licking the night dew off the shaft of each dark blade of grass.
They will tell you that if you waken slowly, you can feel its weight pressing down upon you like a lover.
Run!
A
No.
slow fire is consuming everything inside her. It is driving her mad.
Run!
She wants it to burn
Run!
forever.
No.
going to end tonight's evening with a poem that's called Chad Without Chad, that was composed by myself and Joan Adley, who now has her own group called the Joan Adley Poetry Players. You'll see them around town. It's called Chad Without Chad because Chad's not here, for one thing. And as a kind of homage to Chad, who was a very erratic but very brilliant young trumpet player, who taught us how to do riffs in poetry. Because in order to play with him, you simply had to become a trumpet. You couldn't continue as you normally would as a poet. So we learned how to be trumpets. And then we learned how to become trumpets without Chad. So this poem is called Chad Without Chad. We hope you like it.
What brings you here to my mouth?
What brings me to your mouth?
Here to my mouth.
Pulls me to your knees?
What pulls me down to my knees?
What makes my tongue
Touching my tongue to
touch
play
yours?
with your knees.
What forces
draw you to me?
draw me to your forces?
Why this coming together? Together our forces to force us to honor
Why? Why this gathering?
those parts of each other
This honoring?
that want to be known,
Of what? Of what
that need to be owned,
wants to be known?
that beg to be kissed
This needing,
and stirred into life.
this needing to be owned.
I'll follow my body
I'll
anywhere.
follow your body anywhere.
To your body,
I'll take your body
through your body,
into my body.
taking your body into my body.
No matter how I twist and turn,
Look how we fit into each other. No matter how we twist or turn,
there's that slow unfolding.
there's the other.
There's that
slow unfolding, waiting.
waiting.
I'll follow my body
What
anywhere.
brings me to your mouth?
To your body,
Pulls me to your knees?
through your body,
What makes my tongue
taking your body into my body.
touch yours?
Look how we fit into each other.
What forces
No matter how we twist or turn,
draw me to your forces?
there's the other.
Why?
There's that slow unfolding,
Why this gathering?
waiting.
This needing to be owned?
What brings you here to my house?
I'll follow your body anywhere.
Here to my mouth?
I'll take your body into my body.
What pulls me down to my knees?
Look how we fit into each other.
Touching my tongue to places in need.
No matter how I twist and turn,
What forces draw you to me?
there's the other.
Why this coming together?
There's that,
To gather our forces, to force us to honor
there's that slow unfolding.
those parts of each other
There's that,
want to be known,
there's that,
that need to be owned,
there's that
that beg to be kissed
waiting.
and stirred into life.
Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Hope you come to see us in May and June. There's a sunset behind you, in front of you. It'll be behind us, but in front of you. And it's a beautiful beach club, so I hope you do come. You've been a wonderful audience. It was nice to speak to you tonight. Thank you.